Good afternoon, Board President Singh, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Segura, and Austin Community. My name is Oscar Adams, and I am the Director of Discipline Standards and Accountability. I'm here to speak with you about Constraint and Progress Measures 2.1 and 2.2. Constraint 2 measures student well-being and equity, and it reads, the superintendent will not allow a disparity in student discipline actions based on race, socioeconomic statuses, or ability. 2.1 states that disparities in African American student disciplinary actions, as recorded in PEIMS, will decrease from 15% in May of 2022 to 7% by May of 2026. 2.2 states disparities in special education student disciplinary actions, as recorded in PEIMS, will decrease from 34% in May of 2022 to 14% by May of 2026. Disciplinary actions are defined in this constraint as a discretionary offense that results in in-school suspension, home suspension, or a discretionary placement to the district's alternative education program. Discretionary offenses includes incidents such as fights, harassment, bullying, and cutting class. Mandatory offenses such as assaults or substance abuse offenses are not included in this constraint measure. The disparity measurement is defined as the difference between the student group's disciplinary rate and enrollment percentage. The goal is for the student group's disciplinary rate to be equivalent to the student group's enrollment percentage. A few years ago, I worked collaboratively with community and district stakeholders to develop an AISD discipline philosophy that explains our vision for serving our students. The AISD discipline philosophy is listed here under the objective, and it states, Austin ISD commits to creating safe academic learning environments through fostering healthy relationships, social-emotional skill development, and proactive intervention. It is important that we keep this on the forefront to ensure our efforts align to our vision. As we considered the district's data and the actions taken by campus and central office staff to address disparities, two quotes from the research we examined stood out. Dr. Gloria Latson-Billings, professor, researcher, and author, shared that discipline disparities reflect not differences in behavior, but disparities how behaviors are perceived and responded to. Another quote that resonated came from Dr. Richard Milner IV, Vanderbilt Chair of Education, and he states, to address discipline disparities, educators must engage in ongoing self-reflection, challenging their own biases and assumptions. Slide 4 shows our preliminary data for African American students through April 15, 2024. This school year, the African American enrollment was 6%, and the African American disciplinary action rate was 17.8%. The district had a decrease in African American enrollment percentage and an increase in the disciplinary action rate compared to the previous school year. The target for this school year is 11%, and the disciplinary action rate among African American students is 6.8 percentage points higher than the target rate of 11%. Additional data is included in the PowerPoint's presentation's appendix to provide greater insight. I want to summarize the data in those slides as it explains the top offenses for African American students and a breakdown of the disciplinary actions. Fights and physical aggression are the top offenses and are most frequently addressed with the home suspension. The data shows the district continues to have a relatively low number of disciplinary actions for offenses such as classroom disruption, rude to adults, and insubordination. AISD had an African American enrollment of 4,382 students, and 404 African American students received a total of 769 disciplinary actions. Specifically, 9% of African American students received a disciplinary action and 91% did not. Of the 9% who received a disciplinary action, 56% only received one disciplinary action. The data reveals that 98 students had multiple disciplinary actions. The end of the year data holds significant importance as it will aid campuses in proactively identifying supportive measures for next year in their discipline action plans. Slide 5 shows the disparity data for students who receive special education services. The 23-24 special education enrollment was 18.54%, and the disciplinary action rate was 33.98%. There was a 2.86% increase in special education enrollment and an increase in the disciplinary action rate compared to last school year. The target for this school year is 20%, and the discipline action rate among students receiving special education services is 13.98 percentage points above the target rate of 20%. Again, the appendix contains additional data slides that shows the top disciplinary offenses and actions for students who receive special education services. Fights, physical aggression, and cutting class are the top offenses. The district served 13,546 students in the special education program, and 778 students received a total of 1,468 disciplinary actions. This includes 182 African American students who receive special education services and are included in both CPM 2.1 and 2.2. Additionally, 5.7% of students who received special education services received a disciplinary action, and 94.3% did not. Of the students who received a disciplinary action, 59.8% only received one disciplinary action. This slide shows two root causes that contribute to discipline disparities for African American students and students who receive special education services. The root causes were identified from feedback provided by principals and central office staff. The district will prioritize addressing the following root causes. 1. Limited models of alternative discipline practices for fights and physical aggression, which results in an increased number of suspensions. And 2. Inconsistent use of effective and proactive interventions designed to teach students how to handle interpersonal conflicts. To address the identified root causes, the district's response will focus on reducing disparities through creating a model that offers alternatives to suspensions, enhancing campus support, improving progress monitoring systems, and providing continuous professional development for teachers and campus administrators. Slide 8 lists the strategies that will be used to implement alternatives to suspensions and enhance campus support for students. The scorecard data consistently shows higher rates of suspensions than in-school suspensions, which is attributed to offenses of fighting and physical aggression. Next school year, the district will pilot a new intervention called the Forward Classroom at Keeling and Covington Middle Schools. Austin ISD was awarded a $1 million grant from the U.S. Department of Justice to implement the Forward Classroom, which stands for Focusing on Reflections with Authentic Restorative Determination. The vision for the Forward program is to provide restorative justice intervention to help students work through incidents when harm was done. In the Forward Classroom, students will participate in restorative circles, reflect on their actions, develop a plan to move forward, and be taught skills how to resolve conflict. Both schools will be staffed with a restorative practice associate to facilitate the Forward program and provide case management support to check in with students after they exit the Forward program. The Forward program's goal is to reduce incidents of violence, keep students in school, and teach students how to resolve conflict appropriately. The long-term goal is to scale this model across all secondary campuses. Increased restorative restorative practice professional learning will be provided to campus administrators throughout the year, specifically during the Summer Leadership Institute and during their monthly meetings. The expectation will be for campus administrators to redeliver this professional learning to their campus. The restorative practice team is hosting a variety of summer professional learning sessions for teachers and campus administrators. One key priority Superintendent Segura established was the vision to transform the Alternative Learning Center into a cutting-edge educational institute. While this is not a preventative measure, we do believe that providing improved supports at ALC will reduce the recidivism rate for students assigned. A committee of district staff, parents, and community members has been established to spearhead the initiative of enhancing academic support and interventions for students served by the Alternative Learning Center. A one-year comprehensive audit is being conducted by Limitless Incorporated to review the school's interventions, resources, and staffing. The audit encompasses a data analysis, a review of district policies and procedures, and interviews with students, parents, and staff. The audit will produce a findings report that includes recommendations of evidence-based interventions that have a proven track record that shows improved outcomes when students return to their home campus. Enhanced campus support includes a revamp of the child study system and the MTSS process. Campus and central office staff received professional learning to improve our practice and ability to support students with academics, behavior, and attendance. While many campuses have an SEL curriculum they use to teach students advocacy and help students manage emotions, many schools have not implemented an SEL curriculum. The district's SEL and CP&I departments has created a grade level specific curriculum that is available to all campuses, and we will work with campuses that have not implemented a curriculum to incorporate this with their students next school year. Another enhanced campus support is greater access to mental health services as a result of Superintendent Segura and the Board of Trustees' vision for establishing a school mental health center at all Austin ISD schools by August of 2024. We currently have 99 centers up and running, and those centers provide short-term mental health counseling to students pre-K through 12 who are experiencing mental health challenges. The therapy services are provided by an Austin ISD licensed mental health professional. Slide 9 lists the strategies the district will use to progress monitor disparities to provide early intervention and refinement of professional learning opportunities. Campuses will continue to complete a discipline action plan to address professional learning for campus staff and targeted support for individual students. The elementary leadership team created a new elementary-specific discipline action plan to refine and align support at the elementary level. The new plan will be presented to elementary campus administrators at the Summer Leadership Institute. Campuses are required to complete their discipline action plan before the school year begins, and plans are updated at the end of each marking period. Campus executive directors monitor plans throughout the year to provide executive coaching to campuses with high rates of disparities. A mid-year data review meeting is held with all secondary campuses to discuss progress and best practices. New for school year 24-25 is a new Tableau disparity dashboard that provides real-time data and highlights campuses and students who need additional support. Furthermore, alongside the restorative practice professional learning highlighted on the previous slide, the Discipline Office is collaborating with the Office of Talent Strategy to integrate restorative practice professional development into the district's new teacher induction program. This initiative ensures that all new teachers begin their careers equipped with a strong understanding of relationship building strategies and possess the necessary tools to address incidents of harm and conflict effectively. This concludes my presentation on Constraint Progress Measures 2.1 and 2.2. We will continue the work of eliminating discipline disparities for students to ensure that we have strong schools and a stronger Austin.